Cardinals, Ravens. Ravens open up at -14 at +106 at Pinnacle, so at a plus number. They're now -13 at +102. We have our first 12.5 on the board, courtesy of Heritage. This total has been climbing and climbing. It opened at 42.5. There's now 46.5s, mostly 46s. To me, this is too big of a spread. We know what week 2 is. It's overreactions to week 1. You know, if we want to talk about the ludicrous game that happened in Miami, you look no further than Minka Fitzpatrick. So last year, he gives up 1 coverage TD in the entire season as a cover safety. They were 6 for 6 against him with 3 TDs. I mean, he's playing all over the field. The game was just ludicrous. You know, I mean, I was on the Ravens. I was thankful for it all, but you know, Kyler's first road game, no Patrick Peterson, very easy start for Baltimore. Lobs to Hollywood Brown look good, but these giant spreads are dangerous. Cardinals could get garbage time TDs. Cardinals, Ravens, Donnie Rightside, you making a move?
No, I don't have a move on this game, but this is one of those big question mark games. And what I mean by that is, like, what did we take out of last week with the Baltimore Ravens going down to Miami? Same thing that you brought up there. Is that a team that just quit where anybody could have played the Miami Dolphins opening day and run up a nice, 40 or 50 points in that game? Now, it does take some, accuracy out of the quarterback and some really good playmaking abilities. You saw Hollywood Brown out there. I loved what I saw from the Baltimore Ravens. And we always get back to that original sticking point. No better team in football that's going to be prepared for game 1 than the Baltimore Ravens. You saw it the past 2 years where they just lit the other team, bad football teams, on fire to start the season. Now you're going to get another bad football team, but what bad football team are we getting? Because if that Detroit game closed the way it should have, 24-6, 24-12, I think that's more of a real look of what you're getting from Arizona. You could take and say, hey, you know what? They got their feet underneath them. They tied the football game. That means a lot going forward. But now you're taking that team that was at home in front of their crowd, excited to play, and taking them all the way over to the East Coast to play a really physical football team that's not going to change their offense as the actual game goes on, regardless of score. I think that bodes well if you're looking to back the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not really interested in the NFL in taking games that are double digits or over a touchdown quite a bit. So you're looking at 13. If you say, you know what, maybe the Dolphins are really bad, and that was more of a indictment of the Dolphins as it was of how well the Baltimore Ravens played. But I'm still not going to trust a young quarterback, a young rookie head coach on the road going into a tough environment where we know the Baltimore Ravens can come up and play really well against inferior opponents. This is a stay-away game, but if I'm going to look at leaning on a situation, I don't really want anything to do with the Arizona Cardinals at this point just yet till I see them throughout the season. I think Baltimore's loaded for bear early, and they're going to stretch this lead. Something comes back and bites them in the end.
Oh, this is a tough one. Ant Fam says Cardinals +13. This is a perfect example of overreaction. The perfect example of overreaction. Tomarino says, I'd lean under. Ravens offense isn't as good as they looked against the Dolphins. No one puts it better than Robert Weimer, who says this game is unbettable as well. Cardinals didn't do shit until the end of the Ravens game, and when the Ravens beat up on North Savannah State Community College. I like all of that. Farshad Sami says, no chance Cardinals can score against the Ravens. Ravens against the spread is Farshad's play. Whale Capper, Cardinals, Ravens.
Yeah, North Savannah State Community College might have put up a more legitimate effort in that game against the Ravens. That was an embarrassment. But we'll get to the Dolphins in a second. I think the Ravens are for real. I was absolutely impressed with their ability to throw the ball deep. The fact that that was their game plan was pretty awesome. Totally caught everybody by surprise in the NFL. And you gotta be starting to think very seriously about backing the Ravens in the futures market, in my opinion. And this is not an overreaction. We were high on the Ravens for weeks and weeks now. So that said, I also think the Cardinals stink. This is a team that presumably, if the Lions kind of complete their effort in that game in the desert, we're talking about, Kyler Murray being benched and, was Cliff Kingsbury a bad hire? The fact that they came back and tied it was pretty miraculous and pretty fluky. I grade this team as kind of bottom 2 in the NFL, and I think that the Ravens put them away pretty comfortably. I think the Ravens make a nice survivor play. I didn't back them on the side or the total here. I think the total steaming up is a little bit of a weird move. At this point, it's been way overbet, and there's probably value on the under. Reasonable, at least the way I look at this Ravens defense, I think they're going to contain this Cardinals attack relatively easily. The Cardinals are insisting on running this multiple wide receiver look, which in one sense is novel because you got all these wide receivers out there and you're forcing the defense to stay in dime or quarter. But the Ravens have those players. They have depth in the secondary, and they, it's not a surprise what you're getting from this team. We weren't, the wrinkles we were expecting to see, the surprises, just didn't really manifest in that Lions game, I didn't think. And I could very well see a situation here where on the road, Kyler Murray looks a little lost, looks a little, is a little hesitant, a little afraid to make the mistake, which kind of plays to an under in this one. I could see this getting 35-7, type of final score. But I like the Ravens as a survivor play, but nothing else for me on this game.
Survivor play, but nothing else. Vitalis says, I took Ravens in my office survivor pool. Whale Capper on top of it.